To further continue, we will see the various types of actuator tests and output controls. When it comes to onboard diagnostics and vehicle diagnostics, actuator tests and output controls are advanced diagnostic functions used to test and control various vehicle systems and components. These functions are primarily accessed using professional diagnostic tools or scan tools and are essential for pinpointing issues, verifying component functionality, and performing repair. So not only the sensors, even the actuator efficacy is important as far as OBD is concerned. So that is the reason we are going to test the various actuators and also the output controls. When it comes to actuator tests or command based tests that allows a technician to activate or operate a specific component of a vehicle through electronic control unit without user input from vehicle's controls. Now, when it comes to output controls refer to manual control of output such as relays by technician, typically using a scan tool, and this allows you to command the ECU to energize or de-energize a component to verify its operation. Okay, so hope you understood the difference between the subtle difference between the actuator test and the output control. Now, when it comes to purpose and benefit, first of all, you have to isolate and diagnose faults in specific actuators or system, verify that a component is functioning correctly, determine if an issue lies in actuator wiring or ECU, and perform component testing without physically activating the vehicle system. All right. So last but not the least, the most important purpose is speed up diagnostics and reduce the guesswork. So the more accurate the diagnostic is, the lesser the necessity of guesswork. So examples of common actuator tests and output controls. All right. When it comes to engine, a very important component is fuel injector. When it comes to engine, another important component is fuel ignition coil, whether it is a combustion ignition engine or a spark ignition engine. Okay, so activate each injector to check spray pattern, fire the coil to check spark generation. Now, when it comes to HVAC, the important component is or important actuator is blower motor, and we test to verify the verify the fan speed through the ECU. And when it comes to ABS system, ABS solenoid valves, open close valves to test full fluid flow. Now coming to the transmission, shift solenoids, this is the very important component of transmission, and the test is to manually trigger solenoids to test the shifting, whether the shifting is happening properly or not. That is the actual test that is performed to check the efficacy of the shift solenoids. When it comes to lighting, headlamps, indicator, turn on off lighting to turn on off lights remotely, and fuel system, fuel pump delay, activate pump to verify pressure. Okay, as far as the cooling system is concerned, radiator fan is an important component. Again, you turn fan on or off or change speed. So these are the various tests to see whether the fan system is working properly. And when it comes to throttle control, throttle body is the component, and you check the test by opening and closing the throttle plate to test the response. The response time should be as low as possible. And when it comes to EGR system, EGR valve, open valve to test exhaust gas flow. Now, how actuator tests work? When it comes to actuator testing, the most important step is scanning the scan tool communication. The diagnostic scan tool communicates with the ECU via OBD protocols like ISO 15765, ISO 91412, or SAE J1850. When it comes to command initiation, the technician selects an actuator from tools menu. Okay, and next ECU executes the command. Understand the steps very carefully. This may appear slightly repetitive, but these steps must be at the technician's fingerprints if he wants to become a thorough professional of OBD. If you want to be a top-notch professional of OBD, these steps must become your second nature. All right. So first ECU executes the command. The ECU energizes the actuator as per the scan tools command, and technician observes results. And when it comes to visual or mechanical confirmation, example, hearing injector click, seeing throttle more, observing fan operation. So these are all the various actuator tests that need to be done, and these are the various steps that are used in testing the actuator. Now, when it comes to testing methodology, the single component testing, activating one actuator at a time. Next is functional group testing, operating a set of actuators together. Okay, operating the component for a set duration, incremental testing, gradually varying the output. So these are all the various testing methodologies that are used for testing the actuators. Now, when it comes to safety and precautions, always ensure the vehicle is in a safe environment. All right. So first of all, you have to ensure the vehicle is a safe environment when it comes to park, when it comes to handbrake is applied. So these precautions are necessary. Next, use actuator tests only when necessary. And some components should not be run continuously. For example, fuel pumps, you must ensure that these are usually in switch off position. And incorrect use can cause component damage or safety risks. Some output controls require engine off or on based on system being tested. So these are the safety precautions that need to be ensured before the actual testing starts. Now we'll see the role of OBD and UDS support. Now when it comes to OBD mode $08 control onboard systems, this mode supports control of onboard components such as purge solenoids, fans or valves. The support is manufacturer dependent and not universally implemented. The Unified Diagnostic Services ISO 14229 UDS allows higher granular control over components used in newer vehicles. Key services include 0 by 2F IO control by identifier, 0 by 31 routine control can perform tests or calibration routines. So this OBD2 and UDS, they have some specific steps. Now, when it comes to real world diagnostic example, so let's for example take the issue as engine misfire on cylinder 3. Okay, DTC indicates a misfire on cylinder 3. Actuator test use scan tool to actuate the injector 3. No click heard. Then test injector 1 click heard. Confirm tool works and injector 1 is functional. So we can conveniently conclude that injector 3 is faulty or wiring damaged. So naturally you have to implement guided repair, whether you have to repair the wiring or you have to replace the injector, whatever is the corrective action that needs to be done. Okay, so in summary, aspect details function allows technician to manually control or test vehicle components via ECU. Now coming to the tools needed, diagnostic scan tools with actuator test capability, purpose verify uh, component functionality, isolate faults, perform repairs. So these are the various purpose. And again, common tests, as I said, the components which are commonly tested are fuel injectors, ignition coils, fans, solenoids, and motors. And it is also supported by OBD2 and UDS. Okay, so hope all of you got a clear-cut idea the importance of the actuator testing, why it is done, how it is done, and finally what is the output of actuator testing. Thank you.